Okay, so today I'm going to talk about how to get in better shape than 95% of the population. I'm gonna give you the blueprint, I'm gonna give you a bit of my history, what I went through, and if you follow this, I can promise you, you are going to be crushing it in life. So let's rewind this thing back to when I got cheated on multiple times by women. I was made fun of for being smaller, I had low confidence, lower energy. I literally felt like a pathetic wimp who didn't have any confidence to talk to women. I was embarrassed to go to anything where, God forbid, I had to take my shirt off because I was self-conscious about my skinny fat body. I just couldn't get rid of those love handles. And I really wanted to have that chiseled physique that made me desirable to women and a physique that other guys wanted. And you're watching this right now because you've hit a point in your life where you're fed up, or at least you're just tired of how you look and feel and know that you're capable of much more. So I'm just gonna break down everything that you need to do in order to get in better shape than 95% of the guys out here, as simple as I can. So consider this your blueprint to a transformation. Now, I was initially inspired by having an amazing physique when I was like 12, when Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire came out back in I think it's 2001, but I literally had no clue where to start. Now, we're talking about 2001, 2002, things like Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok, they didn't exist. So it was around when I was about 16 when I was introduced to weights from a weight training class in high school. I took the class with a friend, and this is really where I started to get my toes wet with working out, making some of those newbie gains. And I was actually made fun of in school for being diagnosed with a learning disability, and kids would pick on me for being slower. I also struggled with ADHD, so I kind of had this chip on my shoulder. It was when I went in the Marines from the ages of 19 to 22, where I was exposed to a lot of the bodybuilding world. And Greg Plitt was actually one of my greatest inspirations, and may or may not be familiar with the guy, but he died in 2015, but his legacy still lives on today. And when I was in the Marines, I still got picked on, mainly for being more naive and still one of the smaller guys compared to a lot of other guys there with massive egos. And then I went on my first combat deployment to Afghanistan when I was 20, and I was over there about 7 months. When I got there, I decided I was gonna have a six-pack by the time I left. And I was also gonna increase my overall pull-ups. Those were my two goals. I was doing 12 pull-ups, and my goal was 20 by the time I left. I practiced 4 days a week, 10 sets of 5. I was running and lifting daily, but still a lot of bro science then. And I trained abs very hard, about 5 days a week. And in 6 months, I had a very defined six-pack. Now, I continued working out pretty regularly for 6 more years. And it wasn't until around March of 2019, I really kicked things into gear. Now, for most of 2018, I was in a low place. I was hooked on a high dose of Adderall to stay awake during my nighttime job. I was eating McDonald's and Taco Bell late at night and Waffle House every single morning. And there was a period of time in 2018 where I was depressed for a few months and I didn't go to the gym once. I lost a bunch of weight, lost a bunch of strength, and completely depleted of confidence. And then in March of 2019, I decided enough was enough. I looked at myself in the mirror and I was fucking disgusted. But that's the point you have to get to. You have to want to change, and you must be fed up with where you are. I completely transformed my body in about 16 weeks. And after a year, I looked pretty insane, completely different. I decided I was gonna go all the way this time and not cut any corners. And you may be thinking, well, Brian, I don't get it. You've just been talking about how you've been working out since you were 16. Yes and no. Yeah, I was working out, but I was kind of half-assing it. I never had an incredible physique, like that top 1% physique, until I took full accountability and basically stopped being a little bitch and making excuses. I hardly ever did any cardio in years before. I didn't have the discipline to have good nutrition. I would skip workouts. I was half-assing everything. I was still eating shit food. I was partying often. I was playing video games all the time, watching trash TV, all this stuff that's preventing you from transforming yourself and having a different glow. I was half-assing it. Look, it's not that hard to start going to the gym and working out consistently for years. That part is easy because you get some gains. You watch your body change and get that endorphin release when you're working out. You get the pump. But the hard part is what you're doing the rest of the 23 hours of the day. It's what you're feeding your mind and putting in your mouth. So the first step to all this is to ask yourself, why, bro? Why does getting in shape even matter to you? I don't know if you just want a six pack and a well-sculpted physique, looking like a Greek god or having that movie star body, or maybe you don't give a shit about that and you just want to be pretty fit. Well, if that's the case, then ask yourself why you don't really want to go for it. Why are your standards so low to just settle for mediocrity? What's your why? You have to get to the bottom of that and challenge your own belief system. The reason I started working out was because I was made fun of when I was younger for being smaller, for struggling in school. I had this chip on my shoulder and I felt that I needed to compensate somehow, and going to the gym was something I could control and improve upon over time. That's something that somebody can't take away from you. I had low confidence around women in high school, and the reason I decided to really go all in after I fell off at the beginning of 2019 was because I was just fed up with how I looked. Disgusted. I had been cheated on a few different times, and each time the guys were in better shape than me. So maybe you're depressed after a breakup. I remember one of the biggest heartbreaks after a breakup I went through. The first time I really went crazy in the gym was when I was around 21. Bro, a breakup or divorce is literally the best fuel to transform your life. Like, fuck revenge. The best revenge is no revenge at all, and just drastically improving yourself to become the best version of yourself possible. You level up your body, level up your life. Also, after a breakup, you should be putting all that energy into yourself. Maybe you have low energy, feeling lethargic. You're tired of the guys with better physiques getting the girl. Maybe you have kids, or you found out you're having a kid soon and you want to get your shit together before your child is here so you can lead your family properly. It's noble. But once you identify that reason, I want you to go after this video and write it down. Write down that reason. Get a journal and handwrite your why and date it. That is your why, and that will be your foundation when times get tough. You have to have a strong why. If you don't, then you aren't likely to stick with it. I'm just gonna tell you right now. So it was around March of 2019, after I completely started over a new chapter in my life, uprooted entirely with no money, new career, new state, and starting from square one. I visualized exactly how I wanted to look in my mind and realized that in order to transform into that version of myself, I had to kill my old self. This is a crucial aspect that you have to embrace. In order to transform yourself, you have to abandon anything that's holding you back and any old habits or anything like that. The next step is to purge your social circle. Look at who you talk to and spend time with. If they aren't supportive or adding value to your life, they have to go. So go through your social media and unfollow shit that isn't adding value to your life. Anything that makes you feel bad about yourself, go ahead and unfollow those accounts right now. You also gotta cut out the partying and alcohol for a few months. Just learn to say no and prioritize yourself. Look, it's admirable to serve others and be there for other people, as we always should be. That's what life is literally all about. But if you're too focused on either partying or work and putting other things in front of your health, which should be top priority, then you're off track. You have time to do what your boss wants you to, but you can't put yourself first. It's time to stand up for yourself. Enough is enough. Now, this is gonna be lonely at first until you meet other people in your life who are more aligned. And I promise you, in time you will. The universe has a crazy way of working, and God will put the right people in your life. And you know what? You will probably have some haters, people talking shit about you, but don't let that stop you or affect you from your course of action that you take. You just use that as fuel to your fire to keep you going. You can't keep the same friends in your life when you transition into new seasons. As a matter of fact, I think I have like maybe 2 friends I even still talk to on a regular basis from 10 years ago. And only one of them I talk to often. That's because your old self and habits can't come with you. In order to be someone different, you have to live differently. You have to do things you've never done to reach levels few people go. Now, one thing I did was listen to a lot of motivational speakers on YouTube. Shout out to the Motiversity channel. It got me through a lot of dark times. But you can literally just go on YouTube these days and type in any topic you want motivation or knowledge on, and the best content will pop up on your feed. Some of the guys I like to listen to: David Goggins, Tony Robbins, shout out Jocko Willink, Les Brown, Greg Plitt, Christian Guzman, Athleen X, Jeff Nippert, Expert, Dr. Mike Diamonds, Cody McBroom, Michael Morelli. They all have great content. And Cody has a great podcast actually that really explains everything from fitness, nutrition, and mindset. Another crucial aspect is being selfish with your time, bro. If you don't put yourself first, then no one else will. Remember that. So schedule time on your calendar. Plan out your workouts for each week. You have to make this a priority, and it's best to just jump in head first, but you need a blueprint for training and nutrition. So I'm gonna make this as simple and sustainable as I can for you to take action on. So what I want you to do is plan to train Monday through Friday and block out 1 hour. If you can, you will optimize your results by fitting in 30 minutes of cardio and a separate session, or at least a few times a week. Now, I do cardio in the morning around 5:30 a.m. and I'll hit weights after work around 5 p.m. And I have found this to work best, but it really just depends on your schedule and what you prefer. There's been times where, I will just do all my workouts in the morning, or maybe I'll do all the strength training in the morning. Sometimes I would do cardio during lunch, but you just gotta figure out the best time for you to get it done. And we all have the same amount of time in the day. I say wake up early, get your workout in, because you're putting yourself first, you're making it a priority, and no matter what happens during the day, no matter how busy you get, you have already crushed your workout for the day. You've already accomplished an objective for the day. You've already put yourself first for the day. And you need to look at this as changing your lifestyle as a whole, but really going hard for a 16-week block. Cardio 4 to 5 times per week, either incline treadmill walk or Stairmaster, or if there's another kind of cardio that you just enjoy doing, do that, because that's what's gonna be sustainable for you long term. Now with the treadmill incline, I'll do like a 10 to 12% incline Stairmaster on level 5 to 8, and then the workout split I like is Monday, back, tri, and abs. Tuesday is legs. Wednesday is chest, biceps, and abs. Thursday, shoulders and traps. Friday, cardio. And then Saturday, hot yoga. Sunday, rest day, is usually the day that I grocery shop and prepare meals for the week. Now, if you wanna add in a 5th or 6th day of weights, you can do that as well. I mentioned yoga because it's something I've started incorporating typically 1 to 2 times a week the last 3 years. However, right now, I am doing 4 to 5 times a week yoga, and I'm still doing my weight training sessions. But that's because I see that my body really needs extra mobility right now, so that's why I'm prioritizing that. I honestly wish someone would have told me about yoga sooner. I used to think it was some pussy shit or some girly stuff, but it is very difficult, and it's so good for your mental and physical health. Like a 1 hour hot yoga class is one of the It's absolutely incredible. It helps with mobility, injury prevention. There's so many amazing benefits. I'll definitely do a separate video on that. But you do need to prioritize stretching, and schedule stretching like hot yoga is really gonna be a great way to fit it in your schedule and maximize your gains overall. So you gotta put all your workouts on your calendar, time block and schedule any classes that you have. If it's not on the calendar, then it's not a priority. To this day, I can attribute a big part of some of my successes to being organized and disciplined and putting everything on my calendar. The next thing is tracking your daily steps, because it's really about the total daily energy expenditure, or the TDEE, that adds up. So walk more, park further away from the store, take the stairs, use a stand-up desk, get an indoor walking pad if you work from home. There's something called NEAT, which is non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which simply put is non-scheduled exercise, where it's just walking around. It's just, burning extra calories from how much movement you have from fidgeting, things like that. Random walk, shaking your leg, like literally just moving around, whatever. Maybe you have an active job. You're gonna have a higher NEAT than someone who sits at a desk all day. As such, you have to adjust your lifestyle. Now, I've worked in retail before. Years ago, I was in the military, security, I've been in sales, and I've worked in a corporate setting as well. When you have a desk job, you have to be conscious of trying to move more. If you work from home, one thing you can do is go on a 15-20 minute walk every few hours. There's so many things you can do. When I went from having an active job as a certified personal trainer to a career in sales, my daily caloric expenditure went way down, and I had to adjust my schedule, like prioritizing steps and doing more cardio sessions, and consciously structuring a life built around my fitness. Now, you don't need a Fitbit or an Apple Watch to track your steps, but I love using an Apple Watch because I can track my calorie burn and my heart rate. And if you have an iPhone and keep it on you, you can find your steps data inside the Health app. Next thing we're gonna talk about is nutrition. So 85% of the results that you get are gonna be tied to your nutrition being dialed in. This is why, even though I was working out for over 10 years, I still could never get rid of that last bit of stubborn belly fat, the love handles and the back fat. It's what we all wanna lose. It's the nutrition, I can tell you 100%. So one thing I highly recommend is track your food for 8 weeks. You'll hear people say longer, but I only did it for about 8 weeks, and then I was able to eye my food from there. Starting out though, you need to log your food because you need to see how much it actually is, because calories add up fast. In order to lose fat, you have to be in a calorie deficit for at least 12 weeks. Now, you will lose some fat in under 12 weeks. You should expect to lose around 1 to 2 pounds most weeks. But this is dependent on what size you are starting out. Some weeks, you may not lose anything. That's okay. Success is not linear. And we can't always explain why our bodies do what they do, but I highly recommend you to get a food scale. You can get one on Amazon for a few bucks, and you're gonna measure and weigh out your food. That way you can actually see how much it is. Stick to mainly whole foods and cut out the processed bullshit in your diet. It's very simple. For years, I actually would eat a lot of the same stuff, and then I would just kind of alternate some things. For breakfast, I would do some oats, eggs, protein shake with a piece of fruit. I cut out snacking, lunch, some chicken and salad, or chicken with rice and veggies. Dinner, might do salmon, beef, or chicken with sweet potato and rice and veggies. So you can kind of interchange them, but the main proteins are gonna be eggs, chicken, beef, and fish. Carbs are oats, rice, sweet potato, veggies, and fruit. And then healthy fats are avocado and almonds. Those are some of the best ones that I like. Now, I'm not gonna do a full breakdown of all that here. I'll have a separate video for that, but it needs to be simple, man. So that way you can stick to it for months and years to come. Simple, sustainable systems. It's hard to get used to at first. I know it's a little tough, but once you get over those humps, you start trekking through the mud, you get to the higher ground where you see the fruits of your labor. And one good rule of thumb when it comes to food is the 80-20 rule. So 80% of the food you eat is healthy, 20% is whatever you want. The work becomes worth it. The results are worth it, the sacrifice, all of it. And the thing is you don't even look at it like it's much of a sacrifice anymore because you aren't giving up much anyways. So it's really just about how you frame it in your mind. If you are looking better and you've got a better physique and you have more energy, you feel better, is giving up those donuts and that pizza really a sacrifice? No, it's not. But there are sacrifices that we have to make, and that's just how life is. It's just a matter of deciding which ones are worth it to you. Now, when I transformed my body and went all in, I was also getting certified as a personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine. I told myself that I would be walking the walk. So next is I want you to download MyFitnessPal. It's a free app, and this is what you'll use to log your food. It's super easy to use, and once you can scan your foods, you can just go in there and quickly select, and it'll show you the data of how much calories, the protein, carbs, and fats you have left for the day. You can track your weight weekly if you want, but I would focus more on pictures, what you see in the mirror, and how your clothes fit. Also, do monthly progress photos. Create an album on your phone and make sure that you stick to doing progress pics once a month, front, back, and side. So that way, when the journey starts to get hard, you can look back and see how far you've come. Now, in order to find what your calories should be, there's calculators you can look up to find your calories and macros online, but basically, you need to find your BMR first, your basal metabolic rate. You determine your TDEE, which is your total daily energy expenditure, and then you need to get around 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So if you're trying to lose fat, you need to be in a calorie deficit of 500. So let's say you're a guy who's 25, 5'9", around 185 pounds. Your calories come out to 2,800, 185 grams of protein, 65 grams of fats, 369 grams of carbs. As you lose weight, you're going to want to drop some calories. So I'd say after 10 weeks, Drop your calories to 2,000 and coast on that for a while. Allow yourself one cheat meal per week, whatever you want to have. If you slip up, don't beat yourself up. It's not the end of the world. I used to stress about this so much, but it's not possible to be perfect. But it is possible to be perfectly consistent. Also utilize the sauna if you have access to one, either post-training or before bed for about 15 to 20 minutes as often as you can. Something that I wish I would have done earlier. It's gonna improve your heart health, reduces stress, detoxifies your body, enhances your skin health, it boosts immunity, helps with recovery, and supports weight loss by increasing your heart rate and metabolism. It's also gonna help you with your sleep and enhance mental clarity and focus. The sauna is amazing. It just promotes overall well-being, relaxation, and rejuvenation. But above all, I want you to trust the process. Know that it will take time and you won't notice results right away. Seriously, like so many people quit because they don't stick around long enough. And when you're losing fat, you'll notice first in your face and then your arms and then your legs. And the last place for fat to go is from the belly, the love handles, and then the lower back. I know it sucks. It's the first place fat is stored and the last place it leaves on men. So think of your body like cold clay sitting on a shelf for all these years. It's gonna take time for it to warm up. Once you can put it in the oven to heat it up, and then you can start to sculpt it, move it around. For belly and love handles fat, it takes about 12 weeks to start to notice a serious drop. And you have to be in a caloric deficit long enough, which is, like I said, at least 3 or 4 months. And at 4 months, you can lose your love handles and belly fat completely. Dude, give yourself a full year and you're a completely different person with a new body, new mindset, and lifestyle. And yeah, it's gonna be tough, but that's why you have to remember why you started. Success doesn't know these things about early or cold or tired. It just knows if you showed up or not. Second by second, you lose the opportunity to become the person you always wanted to be. So take charge of your life and bet on yourself. If you bet on yourself, you'll never lose. All right, guys, if you like this video, I want you to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.